if I'm easy work, I heard him say I'm easy work. If I was easy work, well, you would take all that money that he's offering you. But yet and still, he want 200 million for Benavidez, and he want 150 million to fight me. So that just lets me know right there that I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to his legacy, because it would be crazy for a guy that started at 135 to come all the way up to 168, your weight, no catch weight, no none of that, and dethrone you.
The one thing that I respect about Your Excellency and Turkey is he wants to make the best fights. That's basically it. And a lot of fighters, they outprice themselves, therefore the fans lose, and we can't watch those fights. But now Turkey's coming in, paying money, but he's not paying absurd amounts of monies that fighters are not, worth. He's being reasonable. He's paying premiums, but perfect example is Canelo wanting $200 million to fight against Crawford. In other words, that means he doesn't want to fight. That's basically it. So I just feel that Turkey is a breath of fresh air. He's making the fights that people want to see, and we're all working.
Surprisingly, Turkey Alshik seems to have ended any potential future collaboration with boxing star Canelo Alvarez. Alvarez dismissed the idea of working together unless it was strictly on his terms, prompting Alshik to lash out. The incident occurred during a press conference in Beverly Hills, where Alvarez was promoting his September 14th fight with Edgar Berlanga. When asked about Turkey Alshik's possible offer to arrange a fight with Terence Crawford, Alvarez said he didn't appreciate the way Alshik was handling things.
Look, I'm focused 100% on my fight, and I don't really care about it. They called me yesterday. They text me yesterday if it's possible to talk about the Crawford fight for February or meet to yesterday here in Los Angeles with him. And I say, look, I'm 100% focused on this fight, and I can talk about other fights. Maybe that's why he talked about that today, because I say I'm not ready to talk about other fights, and I don't really ask him for anything. I'm good.
Due to the difference in weight classes, Alvarez didn't want to fight Crawford. However, the Mexican star had previously said he would consider the fight for $150 million.
Canelo, Johnny Boy Boxing, Fight Hype. I just want to ask you, what do you think about Terence Crawford? What do we think about Terence Crawford's performance, and do you want to get a fight with him?
If the money is right, I mean,
$100 million. I heard Turkey offered you a big money already.
Turkey Alshik himself said that he had offered the Crawford fight to Canelo during the night of the Crawford fight event.
Going to see Terence Crawford versus Canelo.
As I tell before to the ESPN, I give him the offer. If he is smart, he will accept.
Canelo's request may not have been serious, and Turkey Alshik no longer seems interested in the idea. After the Mexican legend made his stance clear, Alshik took to social media to share an update on his boxing plans, stating he no longer wanted the Canelo fight. He wrote, "Just wrapped up an important meeting. Now with my team planning for the future fights that we will make for 2024 to 2025. This statement marked the end of the potential mega fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, sparking widespread discussion in the boxing community. Alshik's tweet reflected a shift toward the U.S. market, emphasizing his focus on creating major opportunities for Terence Crawford. He added, "I chose to disregard the Canelo fight as I don't want it anymore. Instead, I will be focusing on the U.S. market with bigger fights, especially for the legend Crawford." Canelo didn't like the way Turkey approached him and made it clear that if the Saudis wanted to work with him, it had to be on his terms. In response, Alshik, who has become a major force in boxing with support from the Saudi crown, accused Canelo of avoiding tough fights. He said, "I heard what Canelo said, that he respects me but doesn't like how we do business. Whether he respects me or not doesn't matter. I know why he doesn't like my approach. I only target big fights at fair prices. So of course, anyone who prefers easier fights won't like that." He further added, "I know how he feels after losing to Bivol. He's been chasing easier fights since. I'm not the one afraid to fight David Benavidez or others. I knew he was wasting our time with unrealistic money demands. I'll keep pushing to make big fights that serve boxing, while he focuses on easy, show-only fights." Canelo Alvarez later responded to Alshik's post with a crying emoji, signaling indifference. Clearly, Alvarez doesn't seem concerned with Turkey's criticism, believing Turkey needs him, not the other way around.
It's crazy, and it makes me laugh with all the antics that Canelo is doing and saying in the media and whatnot about the size, and he won't get no credit and all this type of things. But Canelo been fighting smaller guys his whole career. Canelo been making his own catch weight for years. You know, Canelo fought a smaller Mayweather. Canelo fought a smaller not Amir Khan, but Amir Khan.
Yeah, he did at 155.
Amir Khan. You know, he fought Jamel Charlo, and I'm pretty sure he didn't make as much money with all those guys except Mayweather. Even Berlanga right now, that he will with me, but yet and still, you know, he have all these excuses why he don't want to take a fight with me. If it's all about business, then you doing good business. If I'm easy work, I heard him say I'm easy work. If I was easy work, well, you know, you would take all that money that he's offering you.
Hearn believes Canelo's high money demand is due to the risk involved in facing an opponent like Crawford, who would have to move up multiple weight divisions to take the fight.
One thing, I mean, I wouldn't think that Canelo watched Crawford on Saturday and was afraid of fighting him at 68. I think for Canelo, it's more about the credibility he gets through victory. I think he's a little bit concerned, having spoke to him in the past, that if he beats a guy that's coming up from 147 to 168, is he really going to get the respect for that? So we'll see. I mean, money talks. You know, if it's the right deal, he'll always take the fight.
All of this didn't stop the Mexican star from sharing his thoughts on Crawford's recent win over Madrimov. Canelo stated, "For me, I think Crawford lost that fight, or it was a draw, or maybe it went the other way. He knows why weight classes exist now. Yeah, he's been mentioning my name a lot lately because he wants to sell the Madrimov fight. If they don't talk about me, they don't sell anything. If the money is right, I'll consider it. I don't like athletes who jump around weight classes." Despite ongoing pressure from fans and media for Canelo to face dangerous super middleweight David Benavidez, Alvarez has demanded an enormous payday for such a high-risk fight. Instead, the 34-year-old champion has secured easier matchups for big paydays, frustrating the boxing community. One person who didn't hold back is former UFC double champion Conor McGregor, who posted on X about Canelo's selling power, especially going head-to-head with UFC 306 at the $2.3 billion sphere. McGregor wrote, "Canelo is a cornflake. He has about 30 pay-per-view buys in him. He doesn't generate anything near what he wants to be paid. UFC is going to run him off the strip. Turkey Alshik was right. Move on. Canelo doesn't sell." Oscar de la Hoya also criticized Canelo, claiming he's pricing himself out by demanding $150 million to fight Crawford. Oscar sided with Turkey Alshik, saying he was right to call out Canelo's unrealistic demands.
I think, look, the one thing that I respect about Your Excellency and Turkey is he wants to make the best fights. That's basically it. And a lot of fighters, you know, they outprice themselves, therefore the fans lose, and we can't watch those fights. But now Turkey's coming in, paying money, but he's not paying absurd amounts of monies that fighters are not, you know, worth. He's being reasonable. He's paying premiums, but perfect example is Canelo wanting $200 million to fight against Crawford. In other words, that means
Canelo previously said Crawford would be an easy fight for him. Before his issues with Turkey Alshik, he stated, "Crawford is a great fighter, but in my weight class, it's an easy fight, easy money. If the money's right, why not? I don't like fighting guys like him because he moves too much, and the fight's not that exciting. I saw his last fight. He doesn't move that much now. He thinks he can do anything because he's skilled, but that's why weight classes exist, and now he knows that." Crawford would need to move up 2 weight classes, from super welterweight to super middleweight, for the fight. Canelo also spoke about David Benavidez, the opponent many believe deserves a title shot. He said he'd only take that fight for at least $200 million. He explained, Benavidez is a risk. He's a great fighter, and he brings 25 pounds more than me on fight night. But I don't care, if the money's right, I can beat him tomorrow. Tired of waiting, Benavidez has decided to campaign at light heavyweight for now. Meanwhile, Canelo choosing to fight Edgar Berlanga has led many to believe he's ducking Benavidez. The Crawford fight is also viewed as a lose-lose situation for Canelo. If he wins, he gets little credit, so he's asking for massive paydays for both matchups. Berlanga expected Benavidez's name to come up and didn't hold back. "I don't want to hear Benavidez," he said. "Benavidez. Everyone keeps saying his name. I know it's not going to happen, and that's that." Berlanga faces Canelo on September 14th and responded to critics who say it should have been Benavidez instead. "Those are haters," he said. "They're still going to buy the pay-per-view. They're still going to talk. Floyd became Floyd because of the hate. Without it, he wouldn't be who he was. I'm used to it. I see the hate online. It fires me up. The best victory is when you win and silence everyone." Berlanga's father agreed, saying, "I don't care about that. We got the fight, and we're going to beat Canelo." During their press conference in Los Angeles, Berlanga even called out Caleb Plant, who was seated among the media.
Intelligence and IQ, and we're not going to end up like that. I got knocked out. Caleb.
Our card.
Yeah.
All right, let's turn things back over.
Stop
Caleb,
the cap,
Caleb,
no?
take it easy. I'm gonna take care of him for you. I promise you. I promise you.
Caleb,
That's for you,
shut
hey, buddy.
You
that's
lucky
for
you
you.
get smacked. Go and shape
You
your
think he
beard.
got more IQ than you?
What you say? That what?
Canelo.
What you say?
Canelo kept addressing Berlanga directly, saying, "You think you have more IQ than Floyd Mayweather, Miguel Cotto, and Erislandy Lara? Come on, bro. You're nothing. Take it easy and wait. Your turn is coming." As Berlanga repeatedly told him, "You're going to see," Alvarez grew irritated and made a bold prediction for their September 14th clash. "I'm going to let you have 8 rounds, just 8 shots. You're going to feel pain. After 8 rounds, you're finished. Mark my words." Their heated exchange continued after the press event, with Alvarez telling Berlanga, "You think I'm scared of you? I've beaten many like you. You're nothing." Canelo clearly doesn't view Berlanga as a serious threat, which is why critics say he's opting for easier fights in the final stage of his career. However, many fans still want to see Canelo face David Benavidez, despite Benavidez now moving up a weight class. Stephen A. Smith criticized the idea of Canelo fighting Crawford next, believing the size difference would be too much for Crawford to overcome. He argued that the better matchup is Canelo versus Benavidez, saying, "I hate this game, I don't like it one bit. I think Crawford is the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and Canelo is up there too, but he's fighting at 168, which means he's walking around heavier. What boxing fans want is the super middleweight champion fighting another super middleweight champion, David Benavidez. David doesn't deserve to be ignored. He's earned a money fight with Canelo because he's proven himself as the best." Robert Garcia echoed similar thoughts. He said Canelo likely doesn't want to give Benavidez a shot because of the danger he presents, but added that a fight between the two would be something the boxing world would love to see.
I think that Benavidez is going to stay at 175 because I don't think him versus Canelo is going to happen. I think there's already been so much talk, so much saying back and forth to a point where Canelo is going to say, "Why? I just don't want to give it to him." You know, Canelo has that power. You know, he doesn't need the fight against Benavidez. To us, I would love.
Kay believes David Benavidez has the tools to beat Canelo, but also says you can never count out a legend like him. He explained, "Canelo is so talented that he could actually win this fight. I truly feel Benavidez has what it takes to beat him, but I could be wrong." He also doesn't think Canelo is afraid of Benavidez, noting, "Canelo has fought everybody. I don't think he's scared. I think he's just proud, saying, I can do what I want. I don't need to please everyone asking for this fight." He doesn't feel obligated to please Benavidez or his father, especially after some of the disrespectful things they've said. Sure, He'd be admired for giving fans this fight, but he doesn't have to. So why blame him? Floyd Mayweather, however, thinks Canelo should be tested against someone like Benavidez. He said, "If it were up to me, we'd want to see Benavidez face Canelo. It's time for Canelo to stop cherry-picking opponents and face a real threat." Floyd believes this fight is essential for Canelo to truly cement his legacy. Benavidez is a hungry lion, and Canelo needs to step up if he wants to prove he's still the best. I respect Canelo's accomplishments, but dodging Benavidez raises real questions about his willingness to face challenges. When asked who he thinks would win, Floyd's associate, Rios, said Canelo is undoubtedly elite, but at this point, David is simply too much. David beats Canelo. He's too fast, too hungry. Canelo is a great fighter. I'll take my hat off for him. He's done a lot for the sport and will go down as one of the greatest. But when I see him live right now, I think David beats him. Oscar de la Hoya shares a similar opinion, believing Benavidez would knock Canelo out if the fight ever happens. He pointed to Benavidez's youth and his high jab output as key problems for Canelo.
Benavidez is a monster. He throws. Benavidez throws literally an average of above 50 to 55 punches a round. Canelo Charlo, in the first round, they threw one punch combined. I'm not talking to you as, oh, I hate Canelo, oh, I hate Benavidez. No, I'm talking about a boxing expert. Those are the facts. That's reality on paper. Now, what happens in the ring and the bell rings, I don't know. If Canelo lands that one bomb that he always throws, the right hand, I mean, it's sayonara. It's game over for Benavidez. But I think Benavidez, because he's young, because he's strong, because he's very versatile and throws a lot of punches, it's going to create problems for Canelo.
Mike Tyson is a huge supporter of David Benavidez and believes he would win if a fight with Canelo Alvarez ever happens. Tyson is so confident in Benavidez's abilities that he even thinks Benavidez could defeat Dimitri Bivol, the man who handed Canelo a rare loss. Tyson said, "Benavidez is my guy. I think he can beat anybody in the division. I love Canelo, but he's not going to beat him. He's a little past his prime. I think Benavidez could even beat the guy who beat Canelo, Dimitri Bivol." Veteran commentator Jim Lampley praised Benavidez's boxing skills and presence but made sure to highlight the weight of Canelo's legacy. He explained, "David Benavidez is cosmic, exciting, spectacular, etc., but you're talking about the evidence of one fight. With Canelo Alvarez, you're talking about the proof of 70 fights." Lampley continued, "I don't know enough about Benavidez to confidently say he's going to beat Canelo Alvarez or knock out a guy that nobody else has really put on the mat. But do I think David is a cosmic-level puncher, possibly the biggest I've seen at that weight? I do believe that." Lampley also challenged the narrative that Canelo is afraid of Benavidez, saying, "Why would Canelo be scared of David Benavidez if he fought Gennady Golovkin twice? I do believe this is a must-see fight. It has to happen. I've never seen Canelo back down from a real challenge." Rayo Valenzuela, however, thinks that if Canelo goes forward with a fight against Terence Crawford first, the chances of him facing David Benavidez afterward would become very slim. Still, Rayo strongly believes that Benavidez deserves his shot at Canelo, simply because he's earned it with his performances and resume.
If the money's right, so I think the money will be right, eventually. It depends which route Canelo goes, though. It sounds like Terence Crawford, the Saudis want to make that fight happen, so if he fights Crawford, then I think it'll be less likely he'll fight Benavidez. But, hopefully David gets it. I think he deserves it. He's been the best.
So what are your thoughts on this situation? Do you think Turki Alshik is right about Canelo choosing easier opponents?
The one thing that I respect about Your Excellency and Turkey is he wants to make the best fights. That's basically it. And a lot of fighters, they outprice themselves, therefore the fans lose, and we can't watch those fights. But now Turkey's coming in, paying money, but he's not paying absurd amounts of monies that fighters are not, worth. He's being reasonable. He's paying premiums, but perfect example is Canelo wanting $200 million to fight against Crawford. In other words, that means he doesn't want to fight. That's basically it. So I just feel that Turkey is a breath of fresh air. He's making the fights that people want to see, and we're all working together.
Do let us know in the comments section below. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.